Now, let's go back to Gregor Mendel's work. He used to develop his ideas of inheritance through extensive testing on over 30,000 pea plants. Okay? So, his mathematical prediction of the pattern of inheritance of pea plants, which he used to publish his experiment about hybridization or plant breeding technique. Right? So, apart from this, you also have to keep in mind that biologists knew as well about chromosomes or DNA in that process. So, possible thing, okay? It was indeed fortunate for him that the characteristics used to study pea plants are found in separate chromosomes. Now, there are a few important terms that we need to consider. One, homozygous. Okay? So, homozygous means the same. Okay? Then, this is having identical alleles for a particular characteristics. Okay? So, homozygous means pure breed or 100%. Then the other one, heterozygous. Okay? Heterozygous means hybrid. Means to say that one dominant pair with one recessive. So, this one having two different alleles for a particular characteristics. Okay? So, when we say dominant, the alleles are expressed in uppercase letter, okay, with certain heterozygous condition. So, say for example, we have capital B, okay, that's dominant. Then the recessive, okay, it is an allele that not expressed. So, it's written always with lowercase letter, like small letter b, as its representation of every trait. Now, another one, it is always hidden in the heterozygous condition. So take note of this. Next one, please familiarize about phenotype. So the word phenotype means to say it is a physical expression of a trait. So what traits are? Those are the visible characteristics or physical appearance that usually present in every organism, animal, human, or plant. So it is always be a visible characteristics that we can describe in word according to its description that how we describe them. Example, their colors, shapes, height or position. Okay? So various characteristics appears. Next one is the genotype. Okay? So genotype is a genetic makeup. Okay? It is a kind of genetic makeup in which it's always written with a symbolic letter representation. So, say for example, by writing letters, two letters, big and small letters, big and big letters, those two capital letters, those are the representation of genotypic expression or genotype makeup. So we can see the difference between them. Mendel's laws of genetics, he used to propose first law or law of dominance. Okay? When an organism has two different alleles for a trait, okay, the allele is always expressed. So what do you mean by law of dominance? Okay? One trait dominates among the others. It overshadows its expression of other four allele, and it is being used to be a dominant and clearly visible that dominates among the group. Right? So see, for example, here in this group, there are many girls compared to boys. Right? So this is more common. Right? It's more common. Right? So girls are more than boys. So it's dominant among the group. Right? Then when it comes to skin color, right? When you try to compare with your skin color to others, how many here has a white skin complexion? How many has a brown complexion? So it's part of a comparison to which one dominates according to alleles that we're talking about. Okay? So the gene whose expression is overshadowed is said to be recessive. Means to say that it's not being or fully recognized among the group. Okay? So it demonstrates with a simple Punnett square in a monohybrid cross. So we will try to do this one later. So Mendel's law of genetics, we already learned about the first law of Mendelian principles. One, law of dominance, okay, in which how traits dominates within the group, and which one is hidden among the group, which is commonly the recessive. When gametes are found, in our second law of Mendelian principles, remember, when gametes are formed by a diploid organism, the alleles that control the trait separate from one another. Okay? So, what does that Mendelian principles talk about? It turns out into different gametes that used to retain their individuality. So therefore, these alleles recombine in the offspring, okay, forming new combination of alleles. Alright? Now, what happens during first generation, first filial generation? So we have there, we try to figure out during the seggregation and fertilization process. Okay? So seggregation, okay, means to say to separate alleles into different haploid cells. It's either in animal group, human, or plant variety. So it's eventually give rise to gametes, how it reproduces, or what possible offsprings may reproduce under genetic probability. Alright? Now, what about fertilization? During fertilization, fertilization may occur right after reproduction. Okay? Either sexual reproduction for human or mating for animals. Okay? So, what will be the possible offspring? During fertilization, male and female gametes randomly combine with each other by means of reproduction. So for animal group and humans, okay, we may refer to sexual reproduction through mating and intercourse. However, for asexual reproduction in plants, okay, this usually takes place through pollination process also, and another method of plant propagation as an application of plant breeding technique. Right? So, as you can see guys, in H1 generation there were two alleles for male parent and female parent. Okay, male gamete and female gamete. So, first trait in this monohybrid cross, they tried to cross using a crisscross method, heterozygous tall. So, female contain also heterozygous tall, okay, of this plant. Then for male also contain, okay, male flower plant contain heterozygous tall. So how are they going to cross? So we then proceed by segregation. How to segregate them? Okay. So just simply, okay, split apart those gametes that contains only one trait. Right? So therefore, we have heterozygous tall for male parent cross with heterozygous tall again for female parent. Got it? So what happens then? The possible offspring, okay, takes place in second filial generation, where those plants, the possible offspring occur in 4 possible offspring. It turned out that in the first offspring, okay, presuming that we are done already doing this in a Punnett square or in a crisscross method. So, first offspring occur has dominant tall, homozygous dominant tall. Next one, we have heterozygous tall. How many percent? Okay. And then the last one, we have homozygous recessive short. So you have to make sure guys that you should know which one is dominant among those alleles that we're talking about. Either is it the small one or the capital one. Okay? So here we go. We have homozygous dominant tall, first offspring. Second offspring, it turned out heterozygous tall. Okay? Third offspring, heterozygous tall. Last offspring, homozygous recessive short. So these are the possible children that usually occur during this process. Okay? So, 2 capital T, then second and third offspring, okay, came out with heterozygous hybrid. So this one is hybrid. Okay? So there's a presence of dominant and recessive. Okay? So 50% of those are heterozygous. Then the last one, 25% homozygous recessive, in which, okay, the pairing is homozygous recessive short. Okay, small t and small t. Then the other one, okay, so how many percent? When we talk about the percentage of this genotype, so there were 3 tall offspring. 3 tall offspring of this plant gamete. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, we have 25% times 3, that will be 75% as a whole. last one, to make it 100%, the remaining one is 25% for homozygous recessive short, which is small t and small t. Take note guys, this is only for monohybrid cross. Dihybrid cross is not included yet. So our first model, remember, we focus only about monohybrid cross model for this sample problem. So what really happens during segregation of gametes between male gamete and female gamete? Okay, according to its cells, no, that we use for the first filial generation or F1 generation. Then for the second filial generation or F2 generation, okay, these are all their children, possible offspring under this genetic probability. Okay, so I hope you guys understand about this. Okay, so the possible offspring by crossing between heterozygous to heterozygous parents. Okay, so the possible offspring is 75% tall and 25% short. Simple as that. Okay, so that would be